Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Wednesday, October 8th, after the Celtics' first preseason game, a 121-103 win over the Memphis Grizzlies. The Celtics are back.
Very back. Never left, actually. Can you be back if you never left? Really fun game. Well, I mean, listen, I feel like we have to preface this with they played against Cedric Howard and the boys today. So that you didn't see no Jaren Jackson, no Zach Edey. A lot of rotational pieces playing for the Grizzlies and rookies rather than the actual core players. But nonetheless, you got a lot of awesome things to talk about from this game. I'm sure we'll get to all of it. Biggest or most prominent takeaway from me is Jalen wanted to send a message, it seemed like, right away. Like the whole preseason, whole training camp, we heard from Jalen really wants to take on the leadership role with this team. He's really done a good job of that off the court, organizing like team hangs, things like that to help the chemistry gel a little bit faster as they got a bunch of new guys on the team. Then he just comes out and goes scorched earth in the first preseason games, like 21 points, only played one half, was 4 of 4 to start the game, like man on a mission right from the get-go. And that was pretty impressive to me. Really good games all around. Like, we're going to talk about everybody, but this was just about as good as it could have went today, I think. What do you think?
It's good. It's a very good start. Jalen looked good scoring the ball. Pretty efficient game. Just looked like he couldn't be stopped when he got to his spots and went where he wanted to go on the offensive end. There were a couple defensive lapses, but I think that was just the rust setting in at the start of the game. But when he was on offense and the ball went in his hands, it was just you weren't going to stop him. I mean, you said it. This was a summer league team. The Celtics just played. This wasn't a real NBA basketball team. I'm sorry. It just wasn't.
This is how we want to start the season.
This is a summer league roster. They started Lawson Lovering and Javon Small. It's a summer league roster. I'm sorry. Regardless,
really good step back.
Yeah, he made it a maximum 2 out of 8 times. So
good space creation from Javon Small.
But yeah, no, the Celtics did a great job taking care of business in this one. The rumors and rumblings and discussions of wanting to play faster are certainly true. They played very fast in this game. They took 95 shots to the Grizzlies' 83 shots. They took 53 threes to the Grizzlies' 38 threes. They got 17 offensive rebounds. They had 10 block shots, 13 steals. I mean, it was as close to controlled chaos as you can possibly get for the Celtics. And at some times it unraveled and was just not controlled, and they just kind of spiraled, and there were a few silly plays. But I mean, they played at an incredible speed. And Joe Mazzulla talked about it a little after the game, saying it was like, I think he said 34 minutes is what they played at. And that's kind of what the ideal number is. And asked, can they play at that pace for 48 minutes? That he didn't really know. But regardless, it does look like they're making a very clear, concerted effort to play fast, which they did talk about. But to see it in action is a bit of a different story.
Definitely a fun brand of basketball to watch. Like, I feel like this made it really easy for some of the new guys to make their presence known just by being in the right place, being active, playing hard. Like, I think you are focusing on Josh Minot tonight too. He was somebody that, I mean, is he second guy in the video worthy? Maybe, maybe not. But like, he's a good example of how being active can really make you stand out in this brand of basketball. 3 steals for him in a block. He was all over the glass too. Like, really was just hustling. 0 of 5 from 3. The O'Shea comp might have been pretty good, but he was really somebody that caught my attention in that way. And then Ugo was a lot of the same stuff, like 3 blocks and a steal. He was flying all over the court. He got in the game in the first half and immediately almost started a fight because he was tied up with PJ Hall for a jump ball, and neither one of them wanted to let go. Just really good energy from this team. It seems like they found a lot of guys who are going to fit the brand of basketball they want to play. And I think as a fan of this team, you guys should all be really excited to watch this season. And I really wish that the Grizzlies had anybody playing this game, because then we could get more excited about it. But we have to like pump the brakes. We can only be like 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to tell, especially in a game like this. Josh Minot was really, really good. Finished the game with 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 of which were offensive rebounds, 3 assists. Like you mentioned, 3 steals and a block. I mean, he was everywhere. I tweeted it. If the ball was in the vicinity, he was getting a hand on it. He was corner crashing for offensive rebounds, punching the ball out of opponents' hands. He was helping over and playing defense. He was stripping players, ball handlers for steals. I asked him after the game about it, and he said they're trying to emphasize more that it's a 5-on-1 in terms of like the ball. Like they're going to play more help defense this year. They're going to send more help. They're going to try to get those turnovers, and he's emphasizing that. And he didn't even turn off the intensity when the whistle blew. I asked him about it after the game as well. Like, he did the Joe Mazzulla. He did the classic, the Grizzlies shoot after the whistle. He said, we're not having that shit. Verbatim. He said, we're not doing any of that shit. I'm not doing that. I don't fuck with that. So Josh Minot is quite the character. And you mentioned Hugo Gonzalez. This was a very encouraging Hugo game. My problem with Hugo is there's no in between, seemingly.
Correct.
It was either he did the coolest shit you've ever fucking seen with his monster dunk and crazy block and transition, or it was head and hands. What the fuck was that? Dribbling into traffic, losing the ball.
Euro step,
trying to steal the ball in the backcourt and giving them 2 free throws because they're in the bonus. And Joe Mazzulla let him have it every time he messed up. And they talked a lot during this game. But that said, he did all the cool stuff too. So made up for it a little there. My biggest factor outside of Derek White was also really good.
Yes.
I mean, that's just kind of to be expected, but he was like really good. 7 of 16, 10 assists, and he only played 26 minutes, 22 points, 3 rebounds. The float range, Derek White masterclass is back. I mean, if he gets to that little painted area, gets up on 1 foot, it's money every time. So he looks like he could be up there in terms of all-star voting in the Eastern Conference as well. But for me, after the Jalen's and Josh Minots, I suppose, after Jalen and Derek White, it is Luka Garza for me. He was fucking awesome in this game. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of which were on the offensive glass. The defense didn't look terrible. He did have 3 fouls, but he was doing the classic Celtics defense teaching of don't jump. Like he jumped a couple times and he got baited a couple times. But for the most part, he was just standing under the rim, embracing the contact and trying his best to play defense there. But the best part about his game to me isn't going to show up in the box score, even though he did shoot 9 free throws and make 6 of them. This man set 50 plus screens in this game. He was just running, screen, rescreen, off ball, go, cut, roll. Second half, he got into his post bag a little bit, got some offensive rebound and finished. Like he was everywhere for the Celtics team. And it was very encouraging to see how effective he can be.
Yeah, I wrote about Luka Garza earlier this week on Hardwood Houdini and just kind of stumbled upon him talking about how he wants to fit into this team during one of the training media sessions. He did everything he said he was going to do. This is what he told you guys in the media scrum, that like his goals for the season. He said, my number 1 rule playing with Jalen, Payton, or Simons, who, by the way, those 2 didn't play, set good screens. Guys are going to press up on them. So that's my number 1 focus when I get into the action on them, to get them open. In return, that creates opportunities for me, whether it's on the roll or the pop or even on the glass. I think they're all going to do a great job of finding some connection with me, talking to me, and vice versa. He has made it a point of emphasis to become a great teammate, a great role player on this Celtics team. And to be honest with you, the blueprint was right there in front of him with Luke Cornett. Like Luke Cornett literally made his money by setting good screens, picking out where to be, spacing the floor properly without necessarily shooting the 3 ball. Whether or not they actually asked Luka Garza to shoot threes is a different story. He did pump fake one and then drove to the basket for the decelerated Euro step, as somebody pointed out on Twitter. I think Nick NBA was like, hey, he taught Anthony Edwards this move, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I really liked him.
For what it's
I'm
worth.
excited to see him.
For what it's worth, when he passed up that 3, Joe Mazzulla put his hands up in angst. He was
pissed.
He was like, what are you doing? Just shoot the 3. But it worked. He got the move done. What else from this game? Sam Hauser looked good. The 3-point shots were flowing. That's another thing. I wrote about it this morning. I asked Xavier Tillman and Sam Hauser a little bit of like the shot profile, what it could look like. And Xavier Tillman, quote, we'd still like to shoot a lot of threes. They still shot a lot of fucking threes. They shot 53 of them. They didn't even shoot well, but it didn't matter because they played so fast that they just out offensive rebounded, out hustled, out defended, and out, shot in terms of quantity. The other team. And honestly, that sort of brute force, we're just going to play harder, shoot more shots than you, might be the Celtics' best chance of winning games this season. But the 3-point barrage looked all right. Jalen hit his threes. Derek was a little cold. Hauser shot really well. Outside of that, it was a little bit rough, but yeah.
I thought Boucher was an interesting watch. Didn't shoot well, but I thought he was like a fun,
interesting is the good word,
energy guy, like that I can see being a good, like, okay. For context, Nemi, Peyton Pritchard, Anthony Simons did not play in this game. When the starting lineup dropped, even beforehand, when you guys had Joe Mazzulla pregame, he was like, "Hey, don't read into this. The lineups are going to be weird." The lineup was weird. I don't think Chris Boucher is going to be a starter on the Celtics, but I do think if he comes off the bench, he has a real opportunity to be just spark plug energy. The fans are going to love him. He's going to have plays during the season that get the crowd on their feet. He's going to hustle. Like Chris Boucher was on the floor a lot, and it wasn't like him getting dropped on defense. He just was chaotically playing basketball, and I liked it. Even though he wasn't super efficient, I liked what I saw. Stealing a block, plus 16, team, not second highest on the team. Not that that really matters, but thought he was a good fit out there. Just seemed to like understand what was going on. There weren't a lot of moments where you were like, what the hell is he doing? Unless you felt different, which you might have, because you had great seats today. You were all over the broadcast.
I did have good seats. No, he was pretty good. I don't think Chris Boucher was like this world beater, and I don't think you were saying that either, but he good hustle, had a couple out of position plays a little bit on each end, but I think that was just the rust or the learning process of playing in the new system. Joe Mazzulla loves Chris Boucher. He every time he did something, he was going up, he was a high five, and they were getting amped up. He loves Josh Minot too. Those two guys seem like Joe Mazzulla guys through and through. So Chris Boucher was good. I was impressed in his minutes. I was really impressed with Jordan Walsh's minutes until he left the game with I think it was left adductor tightness or something. He did slip a little bit on the floor in the first half, but he looked great. He was making an impact defensively at an elite level. He was a great ball stopper. He was a great, help defender. He was hustling back on defense for some shot contest that stopped Grizzly fast breaks. He only had 2 points, and I think it was a cut in for a dunk, or a cut in of some sort, or an offense. It was some hustle play that led to points for him, and then his 3 rebounds. But the defense was enough to be impressive to me.
Yeah, I liked what we saw from him in the brief. I mean, he got 8 minutes. I felt like he wasn't even out there that long. He was flying around on defense, doing his best. Obviously, a little bit too much with the adductor injury. It was very obvious when that happened. Like he kind of slipped on the floor, and then his legs did a weird thing where his muscles would not appreciate that motion. So it makes sense that it's going to be sore. Hopefully it's nothing that lingers. Those injuries are really annoying, especially when you're trying to play basketball inside on defense. Those are not the muscles you want to hurt. But yeah, I think good start for Jordan Walsh for sure. I'm really rooting for him this year. He looks like he got a little bigger muscle-wise, which is going to help him defensively too. And they just have like so many similar guys, like him, Josh Minot are kind of in the same category. You can almost like loop Chris Boucher in there, even though he's a little bit bigger than those two. Shireman is the guy that's like different, but also has the same kind of like window for error where he needs to impress when he's actually on the floor. What do you think of Shireman today? I thought he was fine. He did some cool things, but he wasn't very efficient. 4 turnovers, a bunch of misses.
He wasn't very good. I didn't think Shireman was very good. He just looked a little bit slow on defense. He made a couple silly passes. He made a couple threes, which was good to see. And I don't think his shot selection was bad, but he also passed up a couple threes that he probably should have taken and ended up being worse shots. So I don't think it was a great Shireman game. I still think he has plenty of room to be an effective player, but this was not a great start. I think. I mean, I don't know what that means, and again, it could just be one bad shooting game, but
his career's
I
over.
don't think he was great.
There's your title
Yeah.
right there.
Xavier Tillman also got the start in this game. 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 5
Alley-oop.
fouls. Super cool alley-oop. Wasn't very great. He was fine. He set some nice screens. His screening was great, just like Luka Garza's. Had that super cool play. Had a couple defensive plays. They really suffer on the glass when he's on the court. He's just not big enough. Doesn't have the hops enough. And then he refuses to shoot the ball. Like, he took 3 threes. He could have taken 8. I'm not saying he should take 8, but that's how many open opportunities he could have had for 3. Like, he just passes up so many opportunities, and it gets the Celtics in a vicious cycle of just not getting the best possible look, unfortunately.
I definitely noticed the passiveness on the threes. Like, there were a few opportunities where he didn't even look. And maybe that was the play call. Like, he was supposed to do a dribble handoff and just get the next guy the ball, which is fine. But as somebody, or for somebody rather, who reportedly was feeling really good about his shot, and he didn't look, when he actually took shots, like, he didn't look like he was hesitant, but it was just like, you're right. There were like probably 3 or 4 he left that he could have just shot, and maybe they go in, maybe they don't go in. He definitely looks like he could play some minutes this year. And I mean, you just look at the roster before today, you could have made the case that he's going to play some minutes this year. We haven't gotten to look at Nimi yet, which is a big question mark in that whole equation. But yeah, he was all right. It really was a really weird game to even gauge that, because Memphis didn't really have anybody playing. But with that being said, you would hope he would be a little bit more effective. You would hope that his 3-point shooting would be a little bit more aggressive and efficient, but it wasn't. Maybe some spot minutes for him in situations off the bench. I agree with you. Garza was the guy for centers today. And, thinking, just to build on that, the way they ran the rotation today, he said not to read into it, but going to do it. I do wonder if the reason why Garza came off the bench is that's like the role he sees for Garza down the line. When Brad was the coach, he was really, really big on, even if person head the depth charts out, the second guy stays where he is, so he remains used to his role and so on. So I could see Garza being a bench guy. I think he was very effective. I think he plays pretty smart. Doesn't really do anything stupid. He's under control. Got to the free throw line. Good job.
Yeah. I do need to tell you guys about Prize Picks before we do continue. Make sure to check it out. Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football season is fully upon us. The Patriots are playing good football, so you can take them more on Drake May passing yards. You can take them more on Ramondre Stevenson fumbles, if that's your fancy, if you want to just bet on what's likely to happen. But basketball season is also right here. The Celtics are starting up and again, and Sam and I do the Prize Picks for the pregame shows as well. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks on top of that, which means you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. You want to pick more on Drake May passing yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? You can do it now, all in the same lineup, only on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. I don't know how much to read into the rotations a la Luka Garza off the bench or anything like that. I do think there's an element to it of they don't play in Memphis that often. Memphis and Xavier Tillman have a strong connection. Maybe it was just, here you go, handshake. You can start in Memphis again. Maybe he'll get to do that again. But I don't know. Luka Garza really impressed me, though. I'm very excited to see what Nimi can bring to the table if and when he does play in the preseason, which I assume this is just going to be a rotating cast of we're going to sit some of our guys every game so we can fit in some minutes of everybody, which today happened to be Pritchard, Simons, and Keita. As far as the rest of the roster, Ron Harper Jr. actually looked pretty good to me. He didn't shoot the most efficiently, but he was hustling. I thought he played pretty good defense in transition. He did foul a bit more than you'd want him to, but just the way he moved on the floor, I thought was impressive. His hustle, his rebounding, his defense. It wasn't perfect. Obviously, he's a fringe NBA player for a reason. But of the two-way Exhibit 10 guys we saw, I think he was probably the best. Him or Kendall Brown. I thought Kendall Brown had some good moments too. But
I love me some Kendall Brown. But I think you're right. And to be honest with you, Ron Harper Jr. should be the best guy. He was here before. He's had the most time in the league. I mean, Kendall Brown bounced around a little bit. He was with the Pacers, but the rest of them really haven't had that much NBA experience. I liked him. His 3-point shot looked clean, looked confident shooting it. And, I'd imagine he'll play with Maine this year. I don't think the Celtics want to bring a 15th guy on the roster. Like, didn't Brad say that to us at media day? He's like, we were hoping to go in with 14. So I don't really know what the potential is there.
I mean, you could always shuffle the two ways around potentially. We did talk about that idea if they did want to do that. I don't know. Kendall Brown looked pretty good. He could also be a potential two-way guy. Jalen Bridges was fine. The Exhibit 10 guys were pretty bad. I can't lie. It was pretty rough. It went downhill as soon as they turned the ball over to Ron Harper. And I don't think it was necessarily Ron Harper's fault, but it was rough. As soon as they didn't have a lead ball handler or actual NBA level talent on the court, that's when the Grizzlies started to come back and you started to see that lead dwindle down. Max Shoga did not look very good. RJ Lewis actually had a couple okay moments of like cutting in and putting the ball back up, but he was pretty just fine. Amari Williams, I also don't think was very good. It was just kind of a mess at the end of the game.
Okay, question. I could see where you were seated. How much of the broadcast were you able to hear? Like, was it like you were watching the game on NBC?
Sporadically.
Boston? Not really.
Not really. Noah could because she was right next to Drew
She
Carter,
was
but
right
I
next
was
to
like
Drew.
one removed.
So there was a great moment where Drew was talking about RJ Lewis and that at training camp, he went up to Xavier Tillman and was like, "Hey, OG, like, how old are you? How long have you been in the league?" And Xavier Tillman's 26. He's only 4 years older than him. So I just thought that was a funny story from the broadcast. You also missed out on Scal doing Scal things.
What were the Scal things?
I don't know anything about this, but he was talking about like the 6'7" thing.
Well, he did that because the kid behind us said it. And so I think they were just repeating what the child behind us said. It's like a TikTok meme. Could you hear the kid on the broadcast?
No.
Oh my God, lucky. There was this kid directly behind us. For context, we were me, Noah, the broadcast, Drew and Scal, and like the other media people were one row behind the scorer's table. And so directly behind us is where the stands start. There was this kid, probably like 8, like 5 to 8 years old, in that range, right? Probably closer to 8. Every time, just he screamed for maybe 70% of the game. Like as loud as he could. Every time they went to the free throw line,
fucking money's worth.
Every time we went to the free throw line, screaming. Every time, do you want a shirt? Screaming. Every time the Grizzlies had the ball, screaming. Celtics had the ball, miss. It was like the most obnoxious, like painful experience ever. It like I got a headache. Like it was bad. And everybody around us knew it was bad. Like Drew kept laughing at it. Noah kept laughing. The people in front of me at the scorer's table kept turning around, being like, "What the hell?" It was fucking brutal. It was bad. If that was my child, I would have shut them up.
Would you look at that first experience in Memphis? Absolutely ruined.
It was brutal. No, it was still fun though. Sitting at that table, getting to be down there was very cool. You could hear Joe coaching. You could hear. There was one point in the game where Sam Cassell came out to the ref and was like, "Hey," I forget what the ref's name was. He goes, "Over there, that was a travel." He looks at me. He goes, "Hey, it's preseason, man. Shape up." He starts clapping and like laughing at the ref, which was very fun. But it was cool being that close to everything.
Biggest takeaway from this is I don't think they missed on anything this summer. I think everybody they brought in is kind of awesome in their own little way. Even if they're not perfect, like can see the vision, can see the fit. Like there wasn't anybody new that came out and checked into the game and you were like, what does he do? Like, no, you could clearly see like Luka Garza is probably going to be a solid backup. You could see that Chris Boucher is going to be just a chaos dude. Ugo's going to be a chaos dude. Josh Minot's going to be like a solid, impactful defender. Like, there's a lot to be excited about with the new players. But I hate that we can't get that excited because this Grizzlies team wasn't
This
real.
Grizzlies team was really bad. Not a new player, but I think Sam Hauser's going to have a really, really good season too. He just looks so comfortable within the flow of the offense, finding his own threes, hunting shots. I think they're going to look to him a lot, and I'm excited to see what it looks like. He had a great pass too. I forget what it was, but like there was this like double screen play. He came off the ball. He like dumped it into X. They found him again. There was a lot of great screening and actions that came out of it in this game. I'll have to go back and look, but outside of that, I don't think there's anything else. Both of the little shoving matches were fun to see in real time, but I think that's just about it. I don't think I missed anything, did I?
No, I don't think so. I mean, how much can you really take away from this?
Well, in that case, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment. We are here every single day with new content. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Sorry about this one. Weird travel day for Jack. Couldn't really there's just a lot going on game day when you go on the road. So we gave you the half hour here on the game. It'll be on Spotify and Apple too. Subscribe there too. All audio stuff is there. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. You know you got thoughts today. All thoughts. Send them in. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Socials are at How About Them Seeds for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Twitter's Jack's Money NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrey and NBA. And that's it for us.
Tic-tac-toe.